The number one thing that is stopping you from being able to lose your belly fat. You're seeing a video now of me at 30% plus body fat, and this is over a decade ago. And the main reason and the main contributor to this belly fat is this one thing, and when I finally removed it, I finally had a clear and easy path towards 10%. And over the last decade, I've gone through multiple transformations, going through a bulking phase where my main focus was to be able to build muscle mass and gaining fat on the way. However, I gained a little bit too much fat because of this one thing that I was doing. And again, once I removed this one thing, I was able to get to single digit consistently. October 31st, 2022 was the final time that I ever consumed a little bit of alcohol. Since I stopped consuming alcohol, I never gained my belly fat again. I was actually able to maintain a lean physique year-round with ease. And I say this because not only have I seen this result, each and every single client of mine that I've ever worked with, once in the first phase of working together, reduced the quantity of alcohol we consumed, saw tremendous benefits, and because they were so addicted to the benefits of not consuming alcohol, when they removed it completely in phase 2 of their program, they were able to see life-changing results. And this is exactly why guys like Gary, Donnie, Avalon, Shannon, Nicholas, and all the clients I've ever worked with always ended up making this clear decision because the benefits far outweighed any reason to consume any more alcohol. So in this video, I'll be explaining to you the science behind why alcohol is actually causing this belly fat gain. But not only that, I don't just want to present you with a problem. I'm also going to present you with the solutions, the tactics that I utilize with all of my clients, and the tactic that I utilize with myself that has actually caused me to never even consider drinking any alcohol ever again. And I say this because I just came off of a holiday, eating all the foods that I enjoyed, and I still maintained my physique without any issues. Without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into reason number 1 and why it's stopping me from being able to lose fat. So at base level, let's review what causes fat gain and fat loss. And we understand to lose fat, we need to be in a caloric deficit. Now, science has shown us that 1 pound of fat is equivalent to 3,500 calories. So if we want to lose this pound of fat, we need to be in a caloric deficit of 3,500 calories in a week. Divide that by 7 days in the week. You need to eat 500 calories less. Now remember that number 500. Now we know the food that is the most calorically dense is fat. Per 1 gram of fat, there is 9 calories. Now, with fat, there are benefits to consuming fat. We just want it in moderation. It helps your main hormones to be able to be produced, for example, testosterone. So there is benefit to having an amount of fat in your diet. However, the second most calorically dense food out there and macronutrient is alcohol. Per 1 gram of alcohol, there's 7 calories. But with that being said, there's no benefit or there's no nutritional value in alcohol at all. It's actually considered by your body as a toxin. So number 1, you're consuming these extra calories, but then you're also putting toxins in your body. And with that being said, let's think about it on a day-to-day basis. A beer is usually about 12 ounces and anywhere between 100 and 150 calories. So if you consume 3 beers a day, considering that that beer is 150 calories, that comes out to a total of 450 calories, which cancels out that 500 caloric deficit you created on that day. But also on top of that, what about the cocktails? A cocktail, on average, the mojitos, the strawberry daiquiris, etc., with sugars and all of the other ingredients they add to it, is about 300 calories. But we're not only consuming a cocktail, it's normally 2 or 3. So you're usually consuming 600 to 900 calories, and that's considering if you're being moderate about your overall consumption. Not only that, to remember, your liver, its main function is detoxification. Once you consume and introduce alcohol in your system, you take the attention of your liver and its main function to focus fully on detoxifying all the alcohol you've put in your body. And I'm going to explain of how this affects your metabolism overall. Alcohol can slow down your metabolism because when you drink it, your body actually starts prioritizing burning it for energy before it uses your carbs and fats. As a result, the extra glucose and fats that your body would normally use for energy gets stored as fat instead. In fact, alcohol can affect the fat burning process for up to 12 to 36 hours depending on the individual and the dose, and this is seen consistently across multiple studies. Additionally, alcohol can also reduce your self-control. It leads you to making poor decisions each and every single time. So I saw this now, and I've noticed this because over the span of a year, I was making much better decisions that stopped me from gaining those 2 to 3 pounds on the weekends. And you have 52 weeks in a year and you're drinking about 25 times in the year. How many extra 2 to 3 pounds did you add as a result of those weekends? But not only on the day of drinking, usually on the following day after you drink, you're just trying to recover from all the alcohol you've drank. You feel terrible. Your last concern is eating healthy. So you usually also tend to have an off day in terms of your dieting process the following day after drinking alcohol. So you're not only just losing one day, you're losing 2 days in your week. With that being said, to illustrate my point, recent research conducted on animals found that mice who were administered ethanol and alcohol over 3 days significantly ate more. This suggests that alcohol may activate hunger signals in the brain, making you more inclined to eat extra food apart from the extra calories that the alcohol has itself. And this is exactly why, if you've ever gone to a student city or you were a student yourself, McDonald's, KFC, and all the fast food places are extremely full over a late night weekend. So what happened? Over the span of a year, I would see my weight drop consistently because I didn't have these days that would completely ruin all of my efforts. And the same happened with my clients. When I removed it, there was no more reason for them to be gaining weight. So what usually happens, and the best analogy for this section is, you take 2 steps forward. Each and every single week you decide you're going to focus on your health, but you take 3 steps back on the one day you decide to not follow your plan and have a few drinks. But with that being said, watch till the end of the video because I'm going to show you exactly what you can do, and you don't have to cut out alcohol completely. That will allow you to finally be able to see your belly fat gone as a result of the tactics I'm about to share with you. But the second thing that it affects is your muscle building ability. So what happens when you're training? What you're causing is the contraction and the relaxation, right? Think of a bicep. And what happens is you're actually causing micro tears in your muscle. And what happens is when you go to bed and you've eaten the correct diet, your body repairs these micro tears and actually adds a new layer of muscle tissue on it. We call this process muscle protein synthesis, and your body regenerates and recovers, and this is how you're able to build muscle over a span of time. Now remember, this takes about 48 hours for your body to actually complete. So let's say on Monday, International Chest Day, it will take you about 48 hours for your body to repair that muscle tissue on your chest. Now let's bring alcohol in the mix. Drinking after your workout doesn't just slow down the whole process, it hinders this muscle protein synthesis, and it does also reduce the release of the 2 main hormones responsible for allowing you to build muscle. Number 1, it reduces your growth hormone significantly, and it also reduces your testosterone, the main muscle building hormone. On top of that, alcohol also increases the level of cortisol, the stress hormone, which is bad for your muscles. Instead of helping your muscles grow by boosting metabolism, the elevated cortisol levels actually starts breaking down your muscle, and research has found that high doses of alcohol intake after resistance exercise increase cortisol levels and decrease the testosterone to cortisol ratio, which can interfere with this adaptive process of long-term resistance training. So not only are you stopping your ability from being able to lose fat, you're stopping your ability from being able to gain muscle at the same time. So you're just getting 2 negative things that are stopping you from reaching your goals, and that's only because of one night of doing one small decision. And results have shown, whether it's combined with carbohydrates or fats, that alcohol reduced muscle protein synthesis by 24 to 37% compared to just having protein. And additionally, just drinking alcohol on itself can affect your performance in the gym the next day. That's if you're not having a hangover or you don't go to the gym at all. Number one, because your liver's main function is detoxification and it prioritizes detoxifying the alcohol, what happens is when you're training, your body is using sugars and glucose, which creates lactic acid. And because your body's main focus is on alcohol, it actually results in this accumulation of lactic acid over time, because now you're struggling to recover and your muscles are cramping up because your body's still trying to detoxify the alcohol. And that's why it affects your training performance. So I hated, and personally, I hated the way I would feel, not just the day after drinking and training, but that entire week. I would notice I can't lift as heavy as I could, and I just feel sluggish and slow when I felt sick. And it was because I could generally feel that feeling of alcohol in my body. And I was just like, you know what? I always just feel like I'm taking steps back for this short-term enjoyment. And at this point, I want you guys to share your experience in the comments down below of alcohol. What's happened? Did you reduce the alcohol intake? And what happened to you when you did that? Or did you cut it out completely? Not only because I want to see the effect that it's had on you, I want other people to read just what your overall experience has been. Number 3, alcohol and your overall gut microbiome. And again, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you the solutions of how to fix this. Your gut microbiome is a community of useful microscopic bacteria that mainly is in your intestines and feed off of the food we eat. They pop out useful chemicals. These microbiomes in your gut help you regulate your appetite, help in digesting food. It helps you maintain a healthy immune system. It produces essential nutrients and vitamins. And most importantly, it can also help you regulate your mood and your overall mental health. And if you think about it, when you get a cut or a wound, what do they normally pour on that? Alcohol or ethanol. So every time you consume alcohol, you're destroying your overall gut microbiome. All these useful bacteria that your body has spent months and years developing, you're destroying completely. And as a result, when I stopped drinking alcohol, I didn't get sick anymore. I haven't been sick with the flu for over a year or any other sickness, again, touch wood. And I want to contribute that mainly because of alcohol. Even right now, I got off a plane flying from Brazil all the way back to Malaysia. It was 30 hours of flying. And everyone was coughing, sneezing, and I was just like, I'm going to get sick. But I've noticed my overall immune system is so much stronger as a result of not consuming alcohol. But don't just take my word for it. This is how the science actually explains it. When you drink alcohol regularly, it can disrupt the delicate balance of these microbiomes and can cause issues like poor digestion and also compromises your immunity. Multiple studies have shown that chronic alcohol consumption is associated with quantitative and qualitative dysbiotic changes in the intestinal microbiota and may be associated with increased gut inflammation. Not only that, but it causes a condition called leaky gut, where the gut's protective barrier becomes weakened because the balance between good and bad bacteria is thrown off. This allows this harmful substances and bacteria to pass through the gut lining and enter your bloodstream, which can lead to the inflammation and infection and any other health problems. Additionally, our gut is home to 70 to 80% of our overall immune system. Another thing is that your gut microbiome is responsible for producing serotonin. That is called your happy hormone. And one study found that binge drinking in young people is associated with distinct alterations and emotional recognition difficulties. So not as in only stopping you to being able to lose fat, stopping you from being able to build muscle, and it's also killing and hurting your immune system, which is super important. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in my 30s and being healthy and keeping everyone around me healthy is super important. So all these things was just super convincing for me to say, you know what, one night is not equivalent to a week or a month for me. So why am I doing this? But not only that, simply when you're drinking alcohol, it slows down your overall brain function. It slows down your synapses, which will result in poor decision making. So not only are you in a state where you're not behaving the way you would normally because it's causing so many inhibitions, but you also make poor decisions, which is usually what stops a lot of people. So not only are you drinking alcohol, which can cause and hurt your ability to lose belly fat, but you're also going to start eating a lot of the foods because you can't have that level of self-discipline. So you'll go for McDonald's, you'll go for all the foods that are super high in fat and that are highly palatable. And another reason is because your serotonin levels, your happy hormone, is going to be significantly dropped. Your body starts seeking for it through these high fat foods. And this is why they're called comfort foods, because they make you feel better and it helps you produce more serotonin. So not only was it hurting my brain function and just my decision making ability, I personally didn't like the version of Michael Diamonds that was drinking, and most people feel that way. They're a little bit embarrassed, they're like filled with regret in the morning. That I didn't like, and I was just like, it's not who I wanted to be. And my clients, after a week of saying no and a month and 2 months, started to realize that actually alcohol was trapping them from being this 2.0 version of themselves. And finally, alcohol also will affect your overall heart rate and your overall heart health. And without going into too much of the science with your overall heart health, it can disrupt the regularity of your heartbeat. It can cause what we call in medicine an arrhythmia, and also just inflammation overall on your heart, which we don't want. And the final biggest thing that I noticed alcohol affects is your sleep. While alcohol can make you feel sleepy and even help you fall asleep faster, it's not a sleeping aid, it's a sedative. This is why the quality of your sleep you get after drinking is often far from ideal. Sleep scientist Mac Walker states that alcohol wrecks your sleep quality. The stage of sleep that is mostly compromised is REM, which stands for rapid eye movement sleep. And according to research, alcohol suppresses REM sleep at least during the first half of the sleep period. REM sleep is a crucial stage where the tissue and cellular repair occurs and when the central nervous system rejuvenates. It's also important for the mental and physical preparedness, and alcohol severely disrupts this restorative process. According to the Sleep Foundation, moderate amounts of alcohol, 2 servings of alcohol per day for men or 1 serving per day for women, decreases sleep quality by 24%. And having more than 1 serving for men and women can decrease your sleep quality by 39%. So now, Dr. Mike, what can I do? What are the best ways to cut out alcohol? Number 1, we need to set out clear goals. For me, one of the main reasons is that I wanted to become a natural pro bodybuilder, which I managed to do, and it's exactly what I wanted. But setting clear goals will allow you to determine if getting into shape or losing your belly fat is paramount. That's important. Is it the most important thing to you right now? And when you finally figured out what is the most important thing to you right now and where alcohol falls on that, it will help you tremendously. The second thing we want to understand is, what do we want to do? Do we want to cut back on the consumption, or do we want to cut it out completely? So with most of my clients in step 1, what we do is we cut back. So when we start working together, I tell them, hey, I need 2 weeks first to see how your body responds to everything that I'm doing to it without the alcohol, without this disturbance. And after 2 weeks, they start to see the end of the tunnel and the light of how much benefit that they have. So I would recommend to you, if you're drinking regularly, just set a goal for yourself for 2 weeks. Even if you're in university or in college or you're going out, just tell your friends, hey, I just need 2 weeks to see how my body behaves and feels without alcohol, and set that as a challenge for yourself and everyone around you. But the second thing you can decide to do is to cut it out completely. This will help you draw a clear line in the sand between the idea behind cutting it out or having it in your life. And what I usually do with my clients is I say, hey, we don't want to consume any more than 3 servings of any alcohol. So this will usually be, hey, on a Saturday night, I don't want you to have more than 3 beers. And again, bigger picture, those 3 beers will probably hurt you on that one day, but out of 7 days, you'll still get results. So again, this video isn't about, hey, you need to cut it out completely. The first stage is reduce the quantity, so 3 beers. Right? If you're going to have beers. Now, if you're looking to have more hard liquor, spirits for example, I want you to have 3 shots of any alcohol. If that is going to be vodka, if that is going to be bourbon, if that's going to be whiskey, and I want you to have those drinks with a 0-calorie drink, because one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is the cocktails. The cocktails are not only just filled with alcohol, it's also filled with a tremendous amount of sugars, and they're also mixing different levels of alcohol. When I have a controlled amount of alcohol being consumed, it allows for a better result. So in phase 1, you go from drinking a lot of alcohol to just consuming enough where it allows you to see results, and you'll definitely get to a stage where you need to make a decision. Again, the same applies with wine. I'll tell my clients, and even my client Shannon, who saw amazing results, we managed to be able to have 3 glasses of wine on occasion. Maybe it started at once a week, and then it became once every 2 weeks, and then it became once every month. And I don't know where she's at right now, but this is quite common. So the second thing is reduce the quantity and try and reduce the mixing of alcohol. So A, 3 glasses of beer, B, 3 glasses of wine, C, if you're going to drink hard liquor, 3 shots of those, but always have it with a 0-calorie drink. Another thing that will help tremendously is before going out to drink at any of these places, drink a lot of water. Number one, it will reduce the concentration of the alcohol in your system overall. But not only that, because you've drank a lot of water, it's going to stop you from consuming more alcohol because you're thirsty whenever you go out. Finally, identify what it is that triggers you to drink alcohol. Is it going to a particular bar? Is it friends? Is it finding yourself in certain situations? Is it going on dates? And identify those things and see if it's possible to remove them. For example, going to those particular bars or meeting up with those particular people, and maybe just delay that. And finding the overall triggers will allow you to identify what you can remove, and this will allow you to reduce that overall. So with me, I started going out less, helped me tremendously. I didn't have to go through this mental battle of decisions that I had to make about what worked, of how much I need to drink and how much I need to control myself. For me, a mission was much easier and just not putting me in a situation where I needed to go through this mental gymnastics between what I had to drink and what not to. And then finally, find other alternatives that will help you tremendously. So non-alcoholic drinks is a good decision. I've actually tried a few. Some of them taste good and have this taste of actually having alcohol in there, and that kind of gives me a good feeling, or like it's enjoyable because I enjoyed the taste. But overall, it wasn't something I was after. So also drinking non-alcoholic drinks can be very helpful, but that's in this case that you're really struggling. But I'll leave it there. Alcohol will probably be the easiest thing you can do to remove to be able to lose your belly fat. You want to remove this tie around your waist. Finally, just stop drinking and see what difference it makes. Give yourself 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then a month, and see if you like it. I want you to watch this video and say, you know what, Dr. Mike, I'm gonna try. So comment down below what your experience has been. Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, leave it with a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.